She's a doctor.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dovec, and she's a dietitian.
Hey, I'm Hannah Schuyler, and together we are the Weight Loss Collab.
Wow, a lot to talk about this episode. We are welcoming in Rob, who is the CEO, founder, the big man on campus for his company, Busy Bariatrics. So we're going to get to know his origin story, why he wanted to do that, why he wanted to change his life even in the first place as a bariatric patient. And today we are also welcoming back Hannah after her birth of her baby girl, Rosie. So we have a lot to do. Thank you for both being here and just diving right into it.
Yeah, I feel like I did so much less than Hannah because I have not birthed a child, and I've barely raised two. So I feel like I have the easy lift. But Hannah, good job by you coming back.
Thank you. You know, sometimes we can do pretty cool things. So she's awesome. She's 4 weeks old. She's very cute and getting bigger. She's still tiny,
Nice.
though.
That's a good part of babies. Is like they're at the point where they don't really talk back, which is always enjoyable. And they're adorable. So
Yeah. She just stares at us kind of cross-eyed.
yeah, they do.
Very accurate. I love it. Well, Rob, welcome again. Welcome to the Weight Loss Collab. We have a lot to talk about, so we're going to dive right into it. And I want people to get to know you. I know you have your following, people that really just love what you have to say. Clearly, you started a business out of it. I love that entrepreneur side to the point where at our upcoming Body by Transformation retreat, you are sitting on our CEO panel, which is kind of the business behind the transformations, people who are in this bariatric surgery, very specific organism here of a system, and just why you wanted to do that. And like I said, why you even wanted to have bariatric surgery. What was your why in even getting started?
I wanted to live, for the short answer. You can go back onto my episodes of my podcast to get to the full origin story, but the elevator tour pitch that I tell everyone is at 365 pounds, I was suffering from over 70 interruptions of sleep per hour from my sleep apnea, which meant that I
Wow.
was essentially at my highest weight, seizing myself awake every night. At the last pulmonology appointment that we had, my doctor pretty much said I was not going to live to 40. And as a 36-year-old, that's a little alarming, especially with young children. And I did what any teacher does when they have their summer pulmonology appointment. I raced down to my basement. I told my wife I had to work on something. She realized that was an outright lie because what do we do in July as teachers? And I researched how to lose weight fast. And after about 5 or 6 Google pages of detox teas, slimming teas, colon cleanses, all the good stuff, I decided to change the search to like healthiest ways to lose weight. And bariatric surgery came out. Um, I had tried, like I said, every weight loss trap ever before and just did not get the results. And I committed myself when I went for bariatric surgery that this is going to be a life-saving procedure. I was going to make it a life-changing procedure. The program, Penn Medicine, that I worked with took a 6-month service where you have to actually go through nutrition, fitness training, habit goals, behavior change. And I lost 50 pounds prior to surgery alone just by changing my lifestyle, habits, patterns, and behaviors. And it's what I teach my clients today still, even when they're not considering bariatric surgery to do that. Then after surgery, I continued to build and reshape myself. I lost over 150 pounds and I have maintained that loss up until June. This year will be 6 years.
Wow.
And I realized how many people struggle in the community from being in Facebook groups, support groups, everything else, and realized that most online coaches have no idea what bariatric surgery is, how it affects them, or how to actually get results for their clients. And I realized I have a background of fitness, nutrition, football coaching, running weight rooms and lifting, as well as lifestyle and organizational management from being a special ed teacher. So I feel like I check a lot of the weird boxes that makes this perfect cocktail of here's how we can get clients results in sustainable habits that go the long way. I'm going to take a breath now because I feel like I told the whole thing without pausing, but yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you said a couple of things I I loved. I mean, clearly just blunt, typical northerner to the point. I wanted to live. I wanted
Yeah.
to live. And the sleep apnea that you describe, for those of you who don't understand kind of the sleep study reports and what you're describing, that is almost as severe as it gets. I haven't heard of too many people having apneic or episodes where they stop breathing over 70 times. I thought you were going to say the night, and I was still going to go, "Ooh, that's a lot." In an hour. You stop breathing 70 times in an hour, and that, if you're listening,
More
it
than one a minute for those of
Yeah.
you scoring at home. Like, and it was to the point that they said, "I'm going to die."
you're going to die. I mean, it puts a strain in your heart. You could get right-sided heart failure. It's, it's the thing where someone who's like, my God, he was what, 36 years old? He woke up he went to sleep and didn't wake up. He died in his sleep. And it's like, well, what was that? Well, I know he was struggling with his weight. It's the apneic episodes, it's sleep apnea. And that's not to be taken lightly. It's the obstructive nature of all the tissue in your neck. So wow, so you got this study, and then once you got the result, you realized it? Or, like, you clearly had a very definitive switch that went off. What was that moment?
So I will say, my hero was Kevin James growing up through my 20s. I was a very happy fat man, I would say. I was pleasantly jovial. I would joke about being fat. I would have fun with it. I joked like, look, I have a Darth Vader mask, like, ladies, watch out. This is a good deal. But I had sleep apnea for years. And every time my pulmonologist, Dr. Cruikshank, would give me the like, hey, you're getting more interruptions even on the CPAP machine. I'd be like, no problem. Like, I still feel fine. And then eventually he's like, look, you're burning out your CPAP machine from all the like restarts and everything. And in true big man fashion, I said, well, let's just go to the next size up. Like, I do it with pants almost every 4 months. Why can't I just get the next size up CPAP? They're like, no, you don't understand. CPAPs don't work that way. You're at the highest level CPAP we can give you. You need to either lose weight or we can't guarantee that you're going to live. And that's where the joke kind of became over for me. And I realized, like, oh, this is something serious, that I really did have to change a lot of my lifestyle and my habits, patterns, behaviors around.
Yeah, that's wild. Like it's kind of and I think a lot of people are like that. Like you hear the kind of the trope of like the fat funny friend, and it's an internalized way of, suffering with a smile on your face probably a little bit, or just making yourself feel a little bit better about the whole situation. And it's kind of like, well, I've adapted other parts of my life to this. So like I can continue to adapt this, and at a certain point you hit the end of that leash a little bit, and it's like, oh, nope, that's it.
Absolutely.
These are the two roads we can go down now.
Yeah, it's tough because the men in our family usually die at work, and that has been a recurring theme for generations of Dimedio men. So we're used to seeing like young deaths, and I don't think I ever associated with like, well, maybe it's having two salami sandwiches a day for lunch and drinking like a bottle of wine every night and living that good Italian lifestyle that might be
Mhm.
playing a part of it. But it was common stance to see that, and I think when I was told, like, "You're going to die from this," I was thinking, like, 60, 70, and being like, "Well, I'll live a rich and full life, and I'll just Irish goodbye in my 60s," and they're like, "No, you're not going to make 40." And as of today, I am 42, so I always joke, like, every day as much as, like, I might gripe a little bit, I'm alive, I'm moving well, and I'm living a better life than I could have ever imagined at 36.
Mhm.
Mm. I know there's a lot about bariatric surgery in men and just the complete discrepancy, just not in our practice, we're all women, and
Yes.
yes, we do 85% of our patients are women, but that's a national average too. And God, I love you've become, in my opinion, on social media and all of that by default, I don't know, but, like, as the kind of the poster child for men who are doing this, you are, you're the funny guy until it wasn't funny. I think that's so, and then you come to this moment where it's interesting how you kind of fell upon bariatric surgery too. This is our life. This is all we do. This is what I fell in love with when I was in med school and all that stuff. But for the average consumer, patient, client, whatever, you're out there and you're like, how do I lose weight fast? And yeah, these detoxes and all this nonsense, weeding through it, and then kind of finding bariatric surgery and going down that rabbit hole. That's interesting, and I would love your perspective now with the GLP-1s making obesity and weight more part of the everyday conversation. How do you feel like where are we missing maybe as a specialty, as still the number one most effective treatment that exists to lose weight and keep it off? How do you feel like the messaging, we're still getting it wrong because of how few people actually stumble upon it like you did?
Boy, that's like a 5-part episode series, but when you really look at it, I think you have like a perfect storm that is happening in our country. You have a multi-billion-dollar marketing weight loss industry that sells shiny objects and essentially snake oil in a lot of
Mm,
senses. If
mhm.
I were to tell you, Bets, like, "Hey, you're in Philadelphia, I could get you to Hawaii in 30 minutes, and it would be totally easy, and it only cost $29." Or I could say, "Hey, I'm going to put you on an 11-hour flight. You're going to have to map out everything and do everything." You're going to pick the shortest, quickest route. And the problem is, most of the products out there are selling short, quick fixes that don't provide long term results. And unfortunately, bariatric surgery and even GLP-1s are not the sexiest option because they do require time. They do require money, effort, and patience. It still requires you to work on your lifestyle skills. And I think that's where a lot of bariatric patients, when they come to me, is they think that either bariatric surgery or GLP-1s have failed them, when in fact they've gotten amazing results from amazing surgeons, but then they have to learn that the onus comes of you need to educate yourself, you need to change your whole lifestyle. And that's the missing part, I think, where I love partnering with registered dietitians and bariatric surgeons because you both do amazing work in your fields. And then for clients to not have the proper education, information, or willingness to commit to a lifetime change, that takes someone on the back end to do that support. And
Mhm.
that's where Busy Bariatrics came from, was the idea of we want to help surgeons and registered dietitians get the best results for their clients by teaching them how to live after this life-changing procedure.
Yeah. Well, and I think and we appreciate that because
Yeah.
it also comes down to, like, time and there's funnels and there's this, we run into just there's just so much to do in this, and it is. I mean, being 6 years out from surgery, like, the maintenance, and we tell people this too, like, the maintenance is the hardest part of all of this,
Mm.
because, not that surgery is not the easy way out, but you're gonna see those results in that first year pretty much guaranteed, whether it's just limited by what you can do or you're just feeling excited and you're ready for it. And then, that excitement fades and maintenance is harder and 5 pounds is harder to lose than it used to be and things like that. So, I think that's correct. And I liked what you said earlier too, and you're kind of giving your whole elevator pitch of like your background of like you have some nutrition and fitness training, you have that organizational skill of like, keeping everything together. And then also the fact that you recognize the snake oil and just these things that are being peddled and knowing that the real answer is that it's really kind of boring, but it's this consistency, it's maintaining, it's just being regular with things, and there is no real shortcut with it. And being able to like help people to see that it's a daily commitment to it versus, yeah, take this detox tea and like you're gonna live it's gonna answer all your problems, solve all your problems.
Yeah, and Hannah, I love something that you said in there, which I think is important for everyone to understand is in your first year of bariatric surgery, you can build almost worse habits, patterns, and behaviors than you did prior to bariatric surgery because you will essentially be so restricted that you can lose weight doing anything. And here's the example of that. I started eating fast food at a higher rate in my first year post-op because I realized I could play a little bit of like, what can I get away with? So it was
Mhm.
like, oh, I ate a Whopper this week and then I still lost 5 pounds. Awesome. Next week, it's like, I'm going to eat Wendy's breakfast and the Whopper. Oh, I still lost 5 pounds. Oh, Wendy's breakfast, the Whopper. And now I'm going to try to play a slice of pizza and I'm still losing 5 pounds. And because like before I was eating a whole pizza or two Whoppers of that, I'm still associating eating fast food or eating calorically dense foods and losing weight. When I work with patients within the first year, it's teaching them to understand the importance of retraining your lifestyle and your nutrition to incorporate whole foods, leaner proteins, building a balanced plate, cooking for themselves, and doing it. And I think that's why when I see so many support groups come in. I'll have people that will be almost banging the table and being like, I'm 14 months post-op and my bariatric surgeon failed me because I stopped losing weight. And I'm like, I'm really going to stop you there. And I'm that guy in every group in case you can't figure out, where I'm like, did your surgeon perform your bariatric surgery? Yes. Did you have any complications from the surgery? No. Were you healthily discharged and did you make it through your post-op appointments? No. That's the surgeon's job, is essentially to do that. Did your registered dietitian give you a plan of what to eat, how to eat, and when to eat it? Well, they gave me a packet. Did you ask any follow-up questions? Well, no. Part of like your lifestyle and what we teach our clients is you need to take ownership of your nutrition, fitness, and your lifestyle after bariatric surgery. You have amazing resources like surgeons like Betsy who do these procedures flawlessly. You have amazing registered dietitians like you, Hannah, who give these incredible meal plans, give a vision of here is your lifestyle, here's what your nutrition should look like. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it is your fork and your relationship with food and lifestyle that makes the difference. And I think that's where a lot of bariatric patients either struggle or don't understand that work still has to be done.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about this on the last podcast we did, on your podcast about recognizing, like, at first, you were, the kind of the average patient, like you're saying, like, "All right, I'm getting away with it, I'm doing it, I'm still losing weight, like, this is fun." The honeymoon era of the weight loss journey, that first year is great, and then the consistency, the maintenance, and all of that. And we talked, and we're gonna talk a lot about just even the business of it, but you recognize that there is still, I mean, there's really not many people or businesses like yourself out there, like Busy Bariatrics, that are really focusing on giving the tools, the lifestyle, the coaching, the fitness, the exercise element is almost like non-existent. So, so
I've
like,
yet to
tell me a
find.
story. I'm sure there is one where you felt like, wait a second here. I need more help. Wait, it doesn't exist. Let me be the one to jump on that grenade and build it. Like, how did that happen?
I've always believed in paying it forward, and I would help in support groups for online communities. I like to listen and to learn and share my experience. And I remember someone saying that they hired an online coach because they wanted to learn how to work out. And the online coach essentially assigned them burpees and 1,800 calories for a 6 month post op, 40-year-old man, which without getting into, like, the full nuances and details, those nutrition guidelines might be appropriate for a 40-year-old man if they didn't have bariatric surgery, but there's so many other nuances that this person was paying an exorbitant amount of money, just being thrown workouts that do not reflect a body that has struggled with obesity their whole life, and a nutrition plan that does not reflect what their habits, patterns, behaviors are, and said, "Here, go figure it out." Um and I just wasn't okay with that, to the point where I was like, "I can't believe people are saying I can help bariatric patients, and they have no knowledge, no understanding, no training, can't even spell bariatric, and it's phonetic." So, like, that's a whole 'nother jazz and deal. Um and I thought it was criminal, to the point
Mhm.
where it's like, okay, if we're gonna build it, we're gonna build it properly. And the online fitness, like, industry is the wild, wild west. Not everyone is certified as a personal trainer. Not anyone is certified as a nutrition coach. Most kind of play around and act like a registered dietitian and give meal plans, which is out of their scope of practice. And I said, we're not gonna do that. I decided I was going to build a program that I wish I had when I was the first day post-op, and every time I took a client on, all I kept asking was, "How can we make it better? What else do you need? What else can we add to do that?" And from there, we built a program that has over 300 recipes that our clients can use to help, that are also high protein, low carb, and also reflect different stages of maintenance and caloric ranges that they can fit in. We have over 7 years worth of workouts that can guide you through getting you as lean as possible in your first 2 years and then help you intentionally build muscle and build functional fitness and maintenance for life. We have over 276 instructional videos to show you how to learn about building habits, understanding nutrition, staying active, showing up for yourself, and finding healthy coping skills, which spells out busy in our method. and
Okay.
process, but it's organized so that you can start it from day one of your surgery and get through to your first 4 years until you build a lifestyle that works.
It's
Wow.
impressive.
It's really
Yeah.
impressive. It's so, like, thought out and so intentional,
I think
clearly.
it's evolved as we've evolved, and it's something that, like, I wanted to make sure there was something that bariatric patients could actually have that met them where they were at, but also taught them for every aspect of their life. Because for so many people having bariatric surgery, they are either busy moms or high end executive professionals. And it's like, okay, I'm already working a full time job or I'm raising young kids. And now you want me to track my nutrition, get my workouts done, have conversations with my family members about my food choices, cook meals that work for us.
Mhm.
And it's something that it's daunting to say the least. So having professionals who have had bariatric surgery, are certified personal trainers, and know exactly how to get you the results that you want, gets rid of all the guesswork so that you can almost put it on autopilot and still learn whenever you want and get the results that you need.
Wow. So right now you're just like from a business modeling standpoint, I'm just like, whoa,
Yeah.
that is so impressive, impressive, impressive because you're doing all this in your free time. I mean, sort of like you have a day
Yeah.
job.
I
Yeah.
do have a day job. I still am a special ed high school history teacher during the day. And, it's because I love my job. I really like helping people, learn. I really like helping give them the life skills, and I teach my classrooms during the day the same way that I teach them at night. I'm very direct. There is a lot of structure, but there is also, I'm going to teach you the skills, for life. So even in the classroom, I'm teaching my kids, here's how to use Canva so you can create t-shirt designs, for things. Here's how to record a podcast so that you can actually do video editing and production. Here's how you just write an essay because you still need to write even though ChatGPT exists. So it's something that I always look at, like, how can I teach practical skills that people can take for life and thrive after they're done with me?
Wow. I mean, so right now you're going directly to the patients. The patients find you word of mouth. Are you going to programs and getting this integrated on a more like business to business kind of a standpoint or not really?
I gotta it's on the to-do list. I've been very lucky. I always say, like, if you I think where most online coaches make the mistake is they try to scale way too fast without understanding what does it take to be a good coach, and then what does it take to have a good program. And you see this all the time online of online fitness coaches who all of a sudden skyrocket and go viral to a quarter million, and then you look at their reviews from their clients and it's, oh, I was just given like a PDF of like a booty builder workout, or oh, here's like a copy and paste of ChatGPT's nutrition that's put in. For me, I don't really care how I grow or how the business grows. I care about getting results for the clients, and then it's naturally grown from that. So it's interesting. Whenever I talk to bariatric surgeons, they're like, "This is the exact program that we believe in," and it's because I believe bariatric surgeons already have too much on their plates as it is between the billing, the medical, performing actually amazing surgeries, and doing everything else. There should be another group that kind of comes and gets it. So I always joke we're the best thing that nobody's ever heard of, but as surgeons like yourself kind of see what we do, they realize this is the next connection or handoff in our practice.
Well, and I think it's such an important thing, like you're saying it is. It's like, again, it's we run out of time, we run out of
Yeah.
space, mental. Like there's just, I mean, you said add it to the to do list, and like that's our motto. It's like just add it on, because we're constantly doing that. But I think that this is also something that's important to kind of dissuade people from this old idea of like bariatric surgery doesn't work for the long term, or I met this person that regained all their weight, or blah blah blah, I've heard it doesn't work, in 5 years nobody's successful. And it's like, well, for some of those people it's probably because they got dropped. There just was not that continuum of care. And especially, again, we talked about kind of like in the media and all of this stuff, but we've known for years is we're talking now about obesity as a disease and as a long-term chronic disease that needs a chronic more, treatment. And that's really where, again, like you said, bariatrics comes in and plays the part and it gets you started. And then it's this continuing care. And that is sometimes what's missing in this whole equation here, and that's, I think, what you guys have really kind of stepped in and said, "Great, we're gonna solve that equation." And you are such a teacher, like, you are I can just tell
A
it's
great
like
one. I think so
everything is
too.
just so structured and that again, that background really it helps you in creating the programming that's gonna be successful and help people be successful in the long run.
Yeah, it's to go back to just combining business and bariatrics, the average online coach retains a client for 6 months, and then they usually leave the program. And most of the reason why online clients leave their online trainers is they either feel like they weren't listened to, there wasn't enough interaction, or they feel that the program wasn't a right fit for them. For a company that's only been around 3 years, our average client life is 22 months. So we're
Wow.
over we're close to what's 9 times 3, 27. I'm close to 3 times the industry average. But the reason is we've built the program where you can work with a coach one-on-one for 6 months, graduate or move into a different stage where you're still getting workouts, you're still getting accountability, you still get to be in our hive because we're all bee themed. It's like you can buzz around the coaches, but you don't need the full financial commitment of, hey, I need to work with you one to one and have a biweekly appointment.
Mhm.
We have some clients that stay there for 2 years because they realize, like, I like having someone who helps me map out my months, figure out what we're doing, troubleshoot different stages of life. But we've had other clients who graduate from the program and are like, there's nowhere else where I can get access to a nutrition tracker, access to people who know how to properly program workouts, video resources that come out, over 15 free new recipes every month, and a community support group that is still led by the person in charge. Like, I still run our Tuesday community calls, which, if you look at other online fitness coaches, like, you sign up for the person from the podcast and then you never see that person again.
Right.
I'm still painfully visibly aware to all of our clients.
I mean, I love it. So tell me, like, if I was somebody, maybe pre-op, I'm about to have my surgery though. I'm scheduled for next week and I'm listening to this and I'm a little bit nervous. Like, I've never worked out in my life. They just seem like so in shape. You see these incredible pictures of you guys, the after, the results. Like, how do you, like, get them to approach it? Like, tell me about your different, like you say, you have the buzzing around, I love that, the one-on-one, you can do, like, a lot of interaction. What are your different programs and how do you get in there?
So for anyone, you can apply just like anything, or just message me on Instagram or respond to any of the emails that we put out Monday to Friday. But essentially, I could tell you the story of my client, Jordan. Jordan was 2 weeks post op and had already done a GLP-1, lost weight and regained it back, done other weight loss programs, lost weight and done it back, done workout programs and worked with coaches, lost weight and gained it back. She realized bariatric surgery was going to be the last choice for her in the best way possible, that something different had to change. She saw that we had our summer camp program and got the opportunity to meet some of the top bariatric experts in the field. And she signed up to work with me. And from 2 weeks post op, we started to work on, where do you want your life to be 7 years from now?
Mm,
And then from that, we worked backwards to build, okay, what does your lifestyle look like? Are you going to have children? Are you going to be engaged? Like, we went through everything. And Jordan is 2 years within the program with us. She has lost and maintained over 150 pounds. She just had plastics for her full 360 lift, and she's gotten engaged, and her marriage is coming up. So I always say, like, this procedure can absolutely change your life, and we help clients by just starting with a conversation, and messaging me. I will say, I'm also, because I hate salespeople. Um, if you message me, we also offer free metabolic assessments where we will tell you, here's roughly how often you should be working out. Here's what your nutrition, sleep, and hydration split should be. If you want to work with us, cool. If not, wish you well. But I hate salesy coaches and sleazy gimmicks of, like, hey, when do you want me to circle back? I'm never circling back with you.
Yeah.
What it seriously,
Yeah.
because, like, here's the thing. If you're listening to this episode and you're like, this sounds like the program for me, it probably is. And then you should just reach out to the link that we'll put in the message notes for this. Or you should just message me on Instagram and be like, Rob, heard the podcast. Can we talk? And we'll spend 30 minutes to figure out, is this a good fit? If after that 30 minutes you don't think it's a good fit, there's nothing I can do to convince you of that.
Mhm.
And that's okay. But if it is, this is the place you want to be, and this is the results we get our clients day in and day out of this program.
Yeah. I think what you're saying too about, like, if you think this is right for you, it probably is. That's how we feel about
Yeah.
bariatric surgery too. Like, as
Yes.
soon as people contact us, if they think that it's the right, like, because we get that, like, hemming and hawing a little bit, and it's kind of like, if you have gotten to the point where you've reached out, you want a consultation, you're getting on our books, like, this is probably what you want, and if you then you back out, like, there's usually not much that we can say. Maybe somebody else in your life can have an impact on on that decision, or sometimes it just takes a little bit more time for people, but yeah, we're kind of the same thought of, like, reach out. Now we will circle back annoyingly, so
Yeah.
Good
tweet
for you.
clueless to shut up, but
Stop.
yeah.
I will say it's funny because I will take sales calls with clients from like 18 months ago, and they're like, "Hey, I'm ready to sign up." And I'm like, I have to go through the text because I still give my cell phone number
Yeah.
out when I message, and I'm like, "Oh God, I haven't talked to you in like 2 years."
Wow.
But it's also like the light's always on. So it's
Yeah.
like whenever you're ready, I'm here.
Mhm.
But if I make you join a program you're hesitant on, you're probably it's not the best drive, because no matter what, your internal motivation is what gets the result on that.
Yeah. Yeah, we have had some people like that too, where 'cause all our texts are saved and everything, and it's like, "Oh, great, last time to,"
Fact.
we're coming up on just this month, 3 years of being open, and
Yeah.
so we've, got some people, it's like, "Oh, you reached out to us when we first started." Like,
And I think that's common in the bariatric community. It's you have to like look and see. And it's funny because Betsy and I have known each other for about 3 years. We didn't put together, we opened up within a month of each other.
"Oh my
Yeah.
So
gosh."
well, yeah, it's crazy. But like we've both kind of grown. And even in the 3 years that we've kind of established all this, we've seen people come and go. And I think for a lot of bariatric people or people circling the bariatric community, they're like, is this another flash in the pan surgeon or coach that's going to hang a shingle and be gone in 9 months?
Mm,
And when they realize, like, not only are we still here, but we're still giving results and helping our communities, they understand that, like, we're here for a long time and a good time.
Mhm.
absolutely. I also love that it's all the bees.
Yeah,
I love all that. All the
it is a
bees.
whole lot of ba.
Mhm.
So,
There's a lot of bees here. Now, you talked about, people being ready and internal motivations and that sort of thing. And then you talked about it just all starts with a conversation. And in that conversation, you described kind of visualizing your best self. And so do you believe in just kind of imagining manifestation? Like, are you into that as part of, because clearly this person is accomplishing what they said they wanted to do years ago.
yes, I do. I think when you look at the psychology behind behavior change, and it is something that, uh, like when my background, I teach special ed kids. Prior to this, I taught in Philly public for 10 years.
Wow.
A lot of what you need, if you've never been somewhere before, part of it is just visualizing what does it look like and working backwards from that. A lot of cognitive dissonance, which is a fancy word for just like, I know I need to do this, but I am not doing this, and closing that gap
Mm.
really does come from like, we have to visualize the bridge that takes us from point A to point B. And I realize I'm making two C's, so it doesn't really work at all if you're watching on YouTube. But to build that connection, you need people who have either been there ahead of you, which is what the hive does, is you're seeing other bariatric patients thriving and setting the example. And then you also have coaches who are already at the level you want to achieve, showing you this is how we get the results. But I think for a lot of clients, the part that they miss is you have to do some internal journaling and mental work of healing your relationship with food in order to maintain your results.
Mhm. No doubt about it. I mean, God, so many good teachings and all of that. And I know what on your day job theme of being a teacher, like you described, you guys were doing a summer camp and you've done that. So tell me about the genesis of that one too.
Yeah, it turns out most teachers don't get paid in the summertime, so I needed to sign more clients to cover my mortgage.
Where?
And that's it. That's it. Look, that's what it is. I got no problem saying it. But it started as just having a sale for our coaching program my first year out. And then in the middle of July, it just kind of got stale. Like the clients were kind of like, yeah, we're doing the work, we're doing the community call. And I brought in Dr. Connie Stapleton, who is a mentor of mine. Her book, Weight Loss Surgery Does Not Cure Your Relationship with Food, single handedly changed my life. That's the book that got me from trying to sneak eat Whoppers after bariatric surgery to healing my relationship to the fact that, like, if I have fast food 3 times a year, that's probably closer to than 3 times a day. And her work of the mental work, as well as like, here's what it takes to be successful, uh, really did resonate with so many of our clients. And because of that, they were like, so who are we having next week? And I was like, well, I don't know. That was the only person I really knew who would be willing to come on at a Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And the following year, I was like, well, what if I got some of the best names in the bariatric community? And I collected registered dietitians, mindset experts, therapists, and had them each do one Tuesday call at 8 p.m. And then we would record it in case anyone missed it. And it went gangbusters.
Oh, wow.
The coolest part of summer camp is some people just join for summer camp and now they're connecting with bariatric surgeons and they're like, oh, maybe this is the person I need a revision for. They're meeting with bariatric therapists and realize, like, I'm very big on scope of practice, where I'm not a therapist and I don't try to be one. I probably would be a very bad therapist because I really would just like tell you this is what I think you should do. And I'm told that's not how therapists work.
No, that's what I
Um,
want, thanks.
yeah, I know.
You can be my therapist.
Yeah, my therapist won't give it to me either. But yeah, Hannah, DM me later and I'll talk. Um, but no, also with registered dietitians, like I do not give meal plans. I do not know the exact thing. So I want to bring in the best in the business that I personally know, love, and trust. So that if you come into summer camp and you meet someone you like, I personally walk you and give you a warm invite to those people. And that's grown to this year where we've gone beyond weight loss surgery in our speaker series. We've gotten some of the best experts when it comes to behavior change, fat loss, menopause, GLP-1s to come in and teach so that you can get in front of people like Beth Ferrico, who is one of the top fat loss experts for menopausal women. You have Rachel Crosswaller, one of the best hormone experts when it comes to resistance training in perimenopausal women. For GLP-1s, we have Summer Kessel, who just wrote Living Your Best Semaglutide Life, talking about how to incorporate your nutrition during this point. We have the two of you coming in, and you can obviously speak about what you're both going to speak, but it's the idea is there's so many different aspects of bariatric surgery that are covered, and it's so important to get you with the experts who can help get you the results that we want throughout everything.
Mhm.
Well, and I love that you're bringing in people that it's not directly necessarily bariatrics, but it's still part of being just like a person too. And then I think sometimes too, when you get into, programs and stuff, like you can bring in a registered dietitian and we can tell you all day about protein, but like how many times have you heard that? And so it's kind of getting out of that standard education that you can kind of get anywhere. You can go back and listen to our old podcast episodes and learn about protein or learn about fat or, like some of these things and even the medications, like great, we've learned so much about them, but now that they are so much more prevalent than it is, it's like, okay, now how do we truly live life and make sure that we're utilizing it properly, not just like this is what semaglutide is, which is we just are kind of moving past all of those super basic points, which I love.
Hannah, I'm gonna dork out on you, and then from professional to professional for the three of us, I hope you'll have a good laugh. That is actually called the expert fallacy, which is you can give a message repeatedly to a client or someone over and over again. But if they hear it from someone who is even perceived as a higher expert or even a different expert, patients will actually retain the information higher, which is why people like Betsy, me, and Hannah pull our hair out when it's like, we've said this to you for months. But
Yeah.
now because Beth Ferrico came in and said you need to go to bed by 9 o'clock, all of a sudden you're setting your alarm. And there's a part of me that's very bitter and jaded.
Yeah.
But there is a part of me that says, let's look at it from the right perspective.
Mhm.
If I surround you with multiple professions who are all saying the exact same science, research, and behavior change beliefs, as opposed to some of the snake oil that is out there. Maybe if you hear it from 12 to this year, 24 different experts telling you this is important, then maybe you'll realize this is
It's
important.
important. It takes the right person to say it. My husband does the same thing. God forbid I tell him something about raising a kid, but then I send him a pediatrician on Instagram who says the same thing, and he's like, "Did you know about this?" Actually, yes, I was very aware of that. Thank you.
It is always interesting how much my, oldest daughter, thinks I know nothing about teenage girls, and it's like, I've only taught them for 20 years, but
Yeah.
it's totally cool. This is the biggest thing in your life. I will sit there and act intent like I've never heard, that you were overwhelmed with sports and homework, but I'll nod politely like a bobblehead and, like, wait till you're ready to listen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so true. I mean, all day, every day, I'm describing the anatomy, that the stomach goes from the size of a football to the size of a thumb. And I thought like, I don't know. I thought people would be sick of hearing that for my summer camp. And even when I'm talking about at our upcoming Body by Transformation retreat, I wanted to kind of get heavier, and like you said, I definitely don't wanna cross the line that I'm sounding like I'm a therapist or even a coach. It's almost like I'm giving a talk on what does it mean to feel alive, and
Yeah.
I'm basing it off of this very vulnerable state that I have the opportunity to get to meet people at, and that is you when you were like, "I need to lose weight fast." You're at your breaking point, you have to break down to break through, and in that moment, you somehow, again, stumbled upon bariatric surgery. You end up seeing me really as your first kind of introduction to it. And I am a reflection on all that is to come for you. And that's the whole idea of the butterfly effect. This small moment, this conversation with me will probably forevermore change your life. And that's a huge responsibility. But what I wanna talk about is really just all of the whys that I've heard over the years, sort of that idea that visualizing your best self and why you're not in a good place right now. You're scared you're gonna die in your sleep from not breathing, like, and hearing all that into, kind of crafting it into living that best life that you wanna do and actually living it and feeling alive during it. So that's what I was gonna do, but I can always talk about, the size of the anastomosis of the gastrojejunostomy if you want me to really go there. I mean, I can talk about anything that you want technically, that's for sure.
I think the unique perspective that you bring and why I love the fact that you have a retreat and everything that you've done is you really do capture people at probably the most critical point of their lives, because this is a life-changing procedure. And the unique perspective too, Betsy, is you actually get to watch their lives transform. And how many surgeries have you done? Like ballpark. You don't get it to the
I'd say,
closest.
like, 7,000.
7,000. So you've had 7,000 opportunities to see what makes a bariatric patient successful.
Yeah.
That is such a unique perspective. And the fact that you are willing to, because no surgeon has to do what Betsy does, the fact that you are willing to invite back your former clients, invite people who may not have even had surgery with you, invite the entire bariatric community into your home, share your resources, and give you an opportunity to meet people to help change their lives is such a unique and powerful perspective and opportunity, but also for you to just share. Like, this is what I have seen because I have seen 7,000 of these surgeries.
Mhm.
You've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you've probably picked up some of the habits, patterns, behaviors that makes a bariatric patient successful. And the chance to even get a chance to listen and hear that if I was 3 months post-op would have been worth every penny.
Well, thank you. No, that's what we're trying to do is, like, preserve and create the space, again, that's even agnostic to Body by Bariatrics. I want everyone to know, doesn't matter where you had surgery, if you even had surgery, if you're thinking about it, not a support person, anywhere you are in the country, in the world, I hope that you will come and you will do that in all of your programs too. I hope people, will take advantage of all that you've done and experienced and learned from just being on there and being in that drive-through and having that breaking point and all of that. That's just it's super powerful and it's super generous what you're doing. It's so generous what you're doing with your time and your resources. You're a busy guy and it's a lot. And but it's also so exciting and so gratifying. And I know that's why Hannah and I are like, why are we doing this again? That's such a good question. In our candid conversations, like offline here, we're like, damn, we ain't event planners. Like you said, we should have stayed in our lane. We are
Yeah.
not in our lanes.
Thank God we hired an event planner.
Yeah, we did. Like, yeah, Laura's amazing. I already talked about her and like all of her ideas. I'm like, oh yeah, duh. We need a microphone that works. Come on, guys. And then piping, draping all the lights and all those sound and all that. But no, it's there's like a lot of good things on the horizon. And I really just want to just change the tone and the vibe and the energy around bariatric surgery. I think that this is also highlighting again that this is like what's okay, how do I lose weight fast, but also how do I do it the safest, most efficacious, kind of thing to do to lose weight and lose it relatively quickly too. And a year you'll be sitting pretty. And how do we keep those results going?
Mhm.
Yeah, I just think it's a testament to how much you 2 care about the community, and, any chance we get to work with other people who care and have a vision, it's just so cool to watch these things come together.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that what we've tried to do too is, like, we're bringing in people that we really feel like have a service or a product that is good, and it's not just any Joe Schmo off the street
Yeah.
and things like that, so we really are trying to make sure that this is, you know, beneficial for everybody that's attending, and they'll get something out of it and walk away feeling like they know what the next steps are and how to, whether that is doing that discovery call with you and getting started, or doing the discovery call with you and not getting started, or, just continuing with different, kinda avenues after this as well. It's not just like a one and done type of thing.
And one of the cool things is if someone is a little shy, I'm gonna release this, I haven't even told YouTube yet.
Ooh.
We have created a way to do the metabolic assessment and get your results without even meeting with myself or my team. So if you are
Nice.
skeptical or you are a little camera shy or in-person shy, you can just scan a QR code at our table. You can take the survey. Now, granted, it's a little better if you do it with us, but it will at least give you enough of a ballpark and give you the information of if you want that next step. So if you
Mhm.
you kind of don't even want to like sit down on the edge of the pool and put your calves in, you can dip your toe in just by scanning a QR code.
N
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah, so you're gonna have a whole setup at the retreat, so you'll have the QR code there. What else can people expect from what you're doing from, a Busy Bariatric standpoint?
We wanted to do something extra special since you invited us, and we are going to be having Lisa, my assistant coach, is going to be leading a resistance band workout.
Oh, wow.
And the cooler part, if you sign up to do the resistance band workout with Lisa, we are going to give you your own set of Busy Bariatrics resistance bands.
Oh, that is so
Amazing.
cool.
You have to sign up for the workout to get it though. So that is like the one caveat for that. If you're like, I don't want to work out in a group, but I want to work out with Lisa, Lisa will also be offering movement assessments all weekend.
Oh, wow.
You can sign up with her and she will help make sure that you know how to pick up a dumbbell, how to start lifting your weights. You'll get a personal 30-minute workout with her in order to get done. You can also set up a metabolic assessment in person with me where I will troubleshoot and guide you through everything. So I always say, like, I think we try to uh, bring some good stuff as a good house guest. Um, but a lot of the stuff we give for free. And even if you're like, well, okay, that's not enough. If you just sign up at our table to get on our email list, we will give you 10 bariatric friendly recipes that you can at least take home and go. And if you stay on the email list, we give another 10 out every month.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
My God. I don't know I don't I know you're like, "Oh, you're busy." I honestly don't know how you generating content? Oh my God, that's a lot. So I'm exhausted hearing
It
all this.
Mm.
It's a lot, and that's why, like, we partnered with, nutrition companies to help make the recipes and gave the guidelines of what we look for, so I'm just editing it. When people are like, "Oh, wow, your food pictures look so good," I'm like, "They're not mine," but again, like, I try to stick with what I do best, and then I let the professionals take it from there, but, every day we send out an email that I write that explains, "Here's what you need to work on from a mindset and behavior change standpoint. Here's how you heal your relationship with food." The Friday ones are more of just like you kind of have to stay with that because those are my personal Rob rants where I blog and just give you like, here's what life at like 5 months post-op is. And most of the time it's how much I either hate the result of the Eagles season or that I put this. this is what pissed me off in the car line with my kids. But, like, that's where I kind of get to shine and show a little bit of me.
I love that.
Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, definitely a lot of free resources that we give where I feel like between the emails, the recipes, and if you just subscribe to our podcast, we've had clients who have done just those two, have lost and maintained 20 pounds and been like, this is all I need. And I'm like, good, thanks. I did my job, go have fun. And that's the goal, is just to help make the community better. And you two do it every day.
love it.
My God. Yeah. Oh, you are so good. This is such a great episode. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see you in person.
I
Yeah, it's
know.
amazing.
I can't believe we're doing it. It's really cool, and it's just a cool opportunity. The more I saw that what you had, and Betsy, when you reached out, every time I talk to you and Hannah, I realize like you both get it, but more importantly, you want to make sure this community has the right professionals giving the right experience and guidelines, and that are the bariatric patients themselves have the proper supports from people who get it. So I'm always happy to help and so excited to finally meet you both in person.
I know, it's gonna be awesome. So, well, everyone can find you on, all the social media at Busy Bariatrics?
Yeah, I'm going to shamelessly give you the email address to sign up for the 10 free recipes. And if you want to take a look at all of our summer camp speakers, I'll send you the page where you can see exactly what we have. And we have programs that start as little as 150 a month, because that is what the average American spends in fast casual. Meaning their Starbucks orders, their fast food drive through in the car lines. So if you want to save 10 pounds and a couple bucks each month, quit your DoorDash and come join us for a very affordable rate.
Awesome. I love it. Well, we're excited to see you on May 1st and 2nd here in Orlando, Florida for the Body by Transformation retreat as well, obviously in person. And we'll make sure that tickets or links to sign up for get those tickets are available. Like I said, you find you guys at Busy Bariatrics. You can find us at Body by Bariatrics, at the Weight Loss Collab, all the usual spots. Anything else you want to add to close us out, Rob?
I don't know. I feel like I hit everything, and I'm,
Awesome.
I'm good.
Good. I love it. Dr. Dovec?
Well, no, I hope that everybody follows and takes at least, at the very least. I mean, what do you have to lose? Nothing. Take the metabolic assessment and see, how doing that, taking a couple of minutes could change your life. So definitely do it. I think that you're great. I mean, I hope that you can handle the masses of people that are going to be flying your way, because I think there's going to be a lot of attention for you.
Absolutely.
I'm excited, and I'm just so happy to be a part of such a cool day. Thanks again, guys.
Awesome. We'll see you soon. You have a great day.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.